G'day, welcome one and all to another edition of Guvs Hero Review videos. This time we are going to continue in our series of the rock band's heroes, and we're going to take a look at the 5-star legendary purple hero, Undertaker, the Heavy Metal Guitarist. So, Undertaker is available for summons from the Battle of the Bands portal, which appears once every 12 weeks, as it's on a 4-week rotation, alternating with the Mercenary and Zombie events. So it goes Merc, Battle of the Bands, Zombies, Merc, Battle of the Bands, Zombies, so on and so forth. So Undertaker he's not hugely new to the game, but he's new compared to a lot of some of the older heroes. It's the last of the events that was added. So Undertaker was first released with the Rock Band event, its original version in August 2022, and then there were some new heroes added in March 2023, and then one new one added actually just today, coincidentally, but we'll get to those other heroes in another date. Just flip over to my roster quickly and we can take a look at his artwork. So we do play a lot on that WWE Undertaker sort of vibe with the death metal and such. I don't really know how this bullet chain, I guess, really features with his heavy metal guitaring. It's probably not the most useful of picks, but you know, it is definitely a statement piece. Nice little electricity crackle, and if you wave your finger in, we get even more electricity. So anyway, so have a look at that in more detail if you wish. Let's head back over to the portal and we can take a look at his family bonus. So being a member of the Rock Band family, Undertaker will automatically gain armor at the start of each wave. The amount of armor gained is equal to 10, 15, 20, 30, 25 or 30% of their HP if there are 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 unique Rock Band family members in the battle. It is worth noting that they must be unique heroes. You can't just bring 2 Undertakers along. But they do have to be different heroes, so Undertaker and Fiddler, or even Undertaker and Giles, for example. The Rock Band family does also receive an additional bonus when used during the Battle of the Bands event. Specifically, they passively gain plus 4, 8, 12, 16, 20% attack and defense for having 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 unique Rock Band family members in your team. Note that the attack and defense buff here only applies when they're used in the Battle of the Bands event. They don't apply to any other event or any other format of the game. Right? So everywhere else, the only bonus is the armor generation. When they're used during the Battle of the Bands event, they get the armor generation plus some stat boosts. In terms of Undertaker himself and his personal stats, he has 750 attack, 701 defense, and 1434 HP. So there is a little bit of skewing away from the sort of norm on the defense stat towards the attack stat. The HP is roundabout where they normally are, so no real change there. His charge speed, it is set to 60, which is fast, and that requires a total of 9 tiles in order to charge his skill, or 5 ghosted tiles. A speed break to get him down to 8 tiles to charge requires plus 5, which is possible using any of the speed guns in the game. You can do it with either the plus 6 Pearl Scale Convex, or you can do it Pearl Scale Convex, I think, or there's a plus 9 Explosion B90 as well, so you can use either of those guns. There's no way currently to double charge break him. That would require an additional 7 tiles or an additional plus 7, so we're talking plus 13, which is way outside of the realms of possibility. So at this stage there's no real need to pick up the emblem node because it's an unnecessary expense. Class-wise, on that top note, he is a member of the Assault class, which grants the hero a chance to wound the enemy, applying 60% of damage done by normal damage, so tiles or slash attacks, over 5 turns. The really great thing about the wound damage is that it can stack infinitely, meaning you can proc it 7 times in 1 turn, and it's 7 by 60. It doesn't reset itself. And it also counts as bleed damage, is how it's listed in the different status effects. So what that means is you can actually trigger the bleed burst from someone like a Kwani. By way of an emblem path, I personally, because I was lucky, as you saw, to summon Undertaker, I personally went an attacking path on mine. This is mainly to boost his damage output, and also because I do pick up defense and HP nodes throughout the tree. An equal argument can be made just to go straight up defense and HP in order to further maximize his survival. But I didn't find that necessary. So if we carry my path that I've been taking further down, we've got the right side, and then we'd go, left side and left side again, and then I would probably stop it just here at plus 18. There's no real need to go to plus 19 and 20 because they're not gaining much benefit. As I said though, you could very easily go a full defense route, which would look more like this. Oops, there we go. At the end there to pick up the defense and HP nodes. In that instance, you could go to plus 19. All right, so heading back to his, heading back to his card in the portal, and we'll take one last look at his card before we move into his special skill. And so this is going to now look at the passive ability, which is at the moment, it's unique only to the Rock Band family members. It might expand to other heroes, but at this stage, it is only on the Rock Band family members. In the case of Undertaker, his passive ability is to apply +1 defense stack to all, or negative defense stack to all enemies at the end of each turn. Each stack is worth -2%, and you can stack a maximum of 20 stacks on any given hero, or -40% defense debuff in total. Stacks are different to buffs and ailments, so they do multiply on with all of those other status ailments and status effects, but the only way to reverse a negative stack is with a positive version. All right, so if there's a hero that one day comes out with a positive defense buff, that will flip or take away from Undertaker's negative stacks. But due to the exclusivity and the limited options currently available, it's not actually possible. There's no hero that has a positive defense stack in their abilities. Moving down his card and taking a look at his special skill is titled Power Chord Mayhem, and at level 10 skill and 60 charge speed will deal 333% damage to the target, apply a -48% defense against purple to the target for 4 turns, and add an additional 2 stacks to the target, each of which again doing 2% defense to a maximum of 20 stacks, or -40% defense debuff. So breaking that apart a little bit and examining each of those lines individually, we'll start with the direct damage component. So direct damage, I find the best way of comparing it is on an attack power per tile basis. So attack power is just a metric where you take the hero's percentage in their skill multiplied by their attack stat, and then the per tile version is you just divide it by the number of tiles required to charge their speed. So in the case of Undertaker, he has 750 attack, 333% damage, which means that he deals out an attack power of 2,498 to the target. If you divide that by the 9 tiles that's required to charge him, that comes out an attack power per tile, ATTP, of 278. Which, if we look at the full amount of purple snipers in the game at this stage, it does rank him as number 7 out of 16, so round about the middle of the pack. If we have a look at some of those other options, the best base damage is Cruz, who does an attack power per tile of 407. You can get really, really high ones where you've got like Flak, who does out 526. Cruz, if he triggers a second attack, it's 815, which is insane. Some other ones further down the list that you might be familiar with, you've got Quattro, who's got 299. Who else is in there? Sure Shot variant comes in at 363. Siegfried, the mercenary hero, comes in at 243, and all the way down the bottom there we've got Marigold, who's an alternate EDD purple hero at 175. So there are a lot of options in there. There's a lot of those heroes also have scenarios against like armor or multiple shots, or when there's like a stealth equipped kind of thing. So there's a lot of options. It is the upper end of Undertaker comes in at the upper end of the spectrum, particularly when you ignore all of those other random cases that have additional damage in them. Moving on from his direct damage and having a look at the second line of his skill, which is the application of a -48% elemental defense down against purple to the target. So For me, elemental debuffs are like the greatest element that you can have in the game, because it enhances your entire color stack against that hero specifically. So it's particularly beneficial on War Machine hits, and it should be considered as a staple in any of your War Machine teams trying to build that EDD into your team wherever possible. The downside for Undertaker is that it is only the target that gets affected. Some of the other ones do targeting nearby or all enemies, but so that does limit his usefulness a little bit in raiding. But even when you're only applying to one enemy, it does make a fantastic 1-2 punch combination when you use another purple sniper like Quattro or Flak. And with his speed, it's not unreasonable that you'd be able to proc it multiple times on multiple heroes. So just because it's only one enemy doesn't really limit him hugely, and as I said, it's phenomenal for War Machines. Final line of his skill is the application of an additional 2 stacks to the target, each doing minus 2% defense down. As I touched on a little bit earlier, defense down stack is fantastic. For me, it's probably the best of the stacks in the game. An argument could be made that Giles is better or Pumpernickels, but I love the defense down, particularly because it's working in with a hero that's already got elemental defense down, and the two of them compound on each other. It's not that you get one or the other, you get both. And not only that, but it's a defense down ailment, it's separate from all the other defense down ailments, which means that you can stack another defense down hero on top of the stacked defense down, on top of the elemental defense down that he gives. So in theory, you could bring a hero like Sato, who's got minus 56 up to minus 56% defense down. You can have the minus 48% elemental defense down, and you can have a minus 40% defense down stack on one War Machine. That's a lot of defense down, like an insane amount. So yeah, really, really great passive, and it makes him overall, Undertaker is a War Machine specialist. The defense down, the EDD make him perfect for War Machines, but it's also very effective even in the Raid and War Arena. He's a direct upgrade from Marigold, who was the original purple elemental defense down hero. They both do the elemental defense down. He does the negative defense stack to all enemies. He's a little bit slower, but he's got a much higher damage output for that speed. So I actually do love using Undertaker. I use him in raids a lot. A 1-2 punch will kill a specific enemy. The defense down stack going onto all enemies every turn makes them actually pair really nicely with an AoE 3 or an AoE 5 hitter, because that's negative defense going on everyone. So overall, for Undertaker's grading, I rank him quite highly. So for war and raid attacks, I'm giving him an A-. For War Machines, that comes up to an A. The only thing that would make him like an A++ is if he had, really phenomenal attack stats, or he had, for some reason, an attack buff as well. But he's a really great War Machine hitter. Events, I'm going to drop him down to a B just because he doesn't really contribute too much to to eventing beyond the defense stack. For raid and war defenses, only a C+. He's possibly workable as a flank or a wing, probably more so a wing, so he's sort of sheltered and keep doing that defense stack, but he's not really a defensive hero. In the tournament setting, A- and C+ for attack and defense on the Bloody Battle tournament. In the buff booster tournament, I'm going to give him an A- and a C+. And on charged attack, I'm going to knock him down a little bit just because he is already fast speed, so he doesn't actually gain a huge amount from the charged attack rules going up to 65. So that's a B+ and a C for charged attack. So overall, for his total grading, that comes in at an A- for attack and a C+ for defense. So yeah, that concludes all the content that I have for this review of Undertaker. As always, this is just my personal opinion. I do love hearing your thoughts and feedback on these heroes and these videos, so please, if you've got some thoughts, jump down into the comments section of this video, drop me a note. I love reading them. I always try to respond to as many as I possibly can. If you did enjoy the video and found it to be useful, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video around, because ultimately, if you found these reviews to be useful for yourself, they're also going to be useful for other people that you play with as well. Thank you once again for tuning in and joining me for this review. I do hope that I will see you guys soon in the next video. Until then, however, good luck with everything and happy gaming. Cheers. Bye.